Hello there, everybody. It is I, your old pal Tony, also known as TTBurger 88, and welcome to the next episode of TTBurger Game Reviews. You know, I wonder to myself, why developers make crappy games like this just so you can waste your money on them when you buy them from the store and bring them home and film to play? You're probably wondering, what am I talking about? Today I'm going to be looking at a game, aka a first-person shooter to be exact, that is so bad that when you play it, you will feel ripped off completely. And that game is Armorines Project Swarm on the PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and Game Boy Color. But we'll be looking at the PlayStation version, which was developed by Acclaim Studios London, and the Game Boy version was developed by Neon Software in 1999. The game was published by Acclaim Entertainment. Armorines Project Swarm was first released on the Nintendo 64 in North America on November 30th, 1999, and then in Europe on December 17th the same year. 1 year later, in the year 2000, the PlayStation version was released in North America on June 30th and in Japan on July 13th and later in Australia. There was also a Game Boy Color version released in 1999 as well. The story of Armorines Project Swarm takes place in the future and pretty much starts like this. Aliens have invaded planet Earth, and their mission is to destroy all civilization. Now, two Armorines, Tony Lewis and Myra Lane, who are elite fighting forces in the US with special super suits, must defeat the enemy hives spread throughout the globe and save Earth. Now, if that isn't the most cliché plot ever for a futuristic sci-fi first-person shooter, I don't know what is. I mean, there are other games like this that have done these type of stories a lot better than Armorines Project Swarm does. One, the two main characters have no personality whatsoever. They don't even talk, and the story is very shallow in some parts. It just doesn't work at all. You want good stories with aliens such? Play Doom, or Quake 2, or Disruptor, or Codename Tenka and such. The story is getting a big 0 out of 10. Graphically, Armorines Project Swarm looks horrible. The character models look so blocky that you will be scratching your head and thinking, wow, this game came out on the PlayStation and this is the best they can do? I mean, for crying out loud, Disruptor looked better than this and that game was in 2D. The backgrounds are also disappointing. They look lazily done with only 2 or 3 colors for each level. It is terrible looking. I will say that the gun models look okay though, but that's not enough to save the graphics. Because of this, the graphics get a 1 out of 10. Sound-wise, it's just bad. The voice acting is some of the worst I have ever heard in a video game, let alone a first-person shooter. The actors sound like they are reading their lines in a very bad monotone voice where it seems they are so bored that they'd rather be somewhere else.
We've received some distressing data, Armorine. Our last SAT transmission with the Siberian base displayed a collection of objects not of this world. You're to confirm the presence of these giant eggs and advise us on the situation. Restore power to the base transport. Keep a lookout for anything strange. Use the transport to get into the lower base. Keep those eyes wide open. Our satellites have confirmed that 3 missiles are on a collision course for the South Pacific, Egypt, and South America. You must determine the bug's agenda, Armorine. We have reason to believe they're using the warheads to transport their eggs.
The Global News Network has just received reports that 3 missiles have been launched by an unconfirmed military organization. News has also started to come in of fighting at a Russian base in Siberia. We'll bring you more information as soon as we have it.
The enemy clearly has a series of hostile objectives, Armorine. It is our belief that they have a strategic interest in certain locations on Earth. We must show them who they're dealing with immediately. They'll wish they'd never journeyed to this corner of the galaxy. Locate and infiltrate the Aztec Temple. We must assume the bugs have a ghastly agenda. Seek out the experimental weapon. It cannot be seized by the enemy. Recon shows 34 bug eggs. Destroy them before they hatch.
The music is a little better, but not by much. Most of the tracks sound very generic and they could have been better. The gun sound effects sound like weak toys that you can get from the toy store, and all in all, the sound is bad, like it has no saving graces to it. I will also give the sound a big goose egg out of 10. Gameplay in Armorines Project Swarm is horribly broken, almost as bad as Bubsy 3D. I am not joking. I will start by saying the controls are what immediately kills this game. As soon as you start, you'll notice there's something wrong with the controls. The default control scheme is the worst ever in a first-person shooter. You know how in most games how you move with the D-pad or analog stick? This game, however, the default control scheme, you move with the R1 and R2 buttons, and you use the D-pad to look around. What the hell? What were they thinking when they made this game? Who came up with the idea of using the R1 and R2 buttons to move? What do you think people use the D-pad for, you morons? I mean, sure, you can change the configuration, but all 4 control schemes suck. Hell, there was a configuration where you move with the triangle, circle, square, and X buttons. Like, wow, those buttons should not be used to move unless it's a racing game and such. Not only that, there is one control scheme that has you moving forward with the down button on the D-pad. Seriously, who thought this was a good idea to make the controls like this? There is a control scheme that allows you to use the D-pad normally, but you look around with the triangle, circle, square, and X buttons, and it doesn't work that much better. These are some of the worst controls ever in a first-person shooter. Why couldn't they make them like other first-person shooter games? Why? Okay, I'll calm down. It's just if you played this game, you would know how bad the controls are. Besides the awful controls, this is one of those types of games where you can get easily lost due to everything looking exactly the same. I literally spent a lot of my time wandering around the levels, getting stuck because they don't give you a clear indication on where to go or what to do. Sure, you have mission objectives, but they are very unclear at times, and they leave you scratching your head wondering, what do I do next? Where am I supposed to go? The enemy AI is stupid but very smart at times, and they're very unbalanced. I could go on and on naming every problem with this game and how it's unplayable and broken, but I don't think I need to. It's because the controls and the unclear objectives are all you need to know about the game because they kill the game badly. Because of this, the gameplay gets a big goose egg out of 10. So all in all, this is what you call a waste of money. There are much better first-person shooters, let alone video games, out there that are better than this, like the ones I mentioned earlier. But unlike Barbie's Race and Ride, I will keep this game because it serves a reminder on how not to make a first-person shooter. And because of this, I give Armorines Project Swarm a 1 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This is Tony, also known as TTBurger 88. Peace out. Have a great day. I'm gonna go make some soup.